is here. Even, a lot of people got scared away from the weather maybe, but us brave souls didn't, did we? So let's give ourselves a round of applause. We could have been anywhere. I had an advantage point of getting to look at all your faces. And I got to tell you, by the looks of your faces, from my vantage point, everyone appears to want to be here. Is that fair? It didn't appear you were dragged here. And I know that may get a chuckle, but I will tell you, I sat where you were sitting not too long ago, and I was dragged here. My father-in-law made me go. I didn't want to go. Water was water to me. I was already in the club. I drank water every day. I knew how important it was. But whether it came out of a bottle, whether it came out of a hose, whether it came out of my bathtub, I really didn't see a difference. And I didn't want to spend the afternoon or the evening talking about H2O. But he stuck with it because he loved me, and he was very persuasive as my father-in-law, and I managed to get to see what you're going to see tonight. So if you're coming from that background where water's water, you'll probably get more out of tonight than most people. I'm here to introduce you to Kangen water. It is a medical grade water from Japan. It is not new. When I sat where you were sitting, I thought, what is this new water? What is this new product? Someone's trying to show me. This, believe it or not, has been around for over 70 years. That's a long time. When I sat where you were sitting, that was remarkable to me. 65 years ago, this company, it made its way to Japan, to where this was deemed a medical water in Japan 65 years ago. In every hospital, they were the size of the wall, right? But they were in every hospital, and the only way you got to this water was going to the hospital. That's surprising to me. I'm 56 years old. 10 years before I got to the planet, this was in every hospital. It's not new. 43 years ago, this company called Magic adopted it, and they started making these to go into residential homes almost 50 years ago. In Japan today, it's in 1 in 5 homes. They know what it is in Japan. We don't know what it is here. In Japan, it's in every hospital. Has been for decades. It's in thousands of restaurants. In the United States, it's been here for 15 years. Just got here. It's okay if you haven't heard of it. It's in 1 in 17,000 homes. Now, I'm just assuming you know one person who has one of these if you don't have it yourself. Statistically, the next 17,000 people you meet won't. It's okay if you haven't heard of it. I needed to hear this when I sat where you were. I was like, well, water's water, and how come I've never heard of it? Because I know everything. We don't even know what we don't know, right? We only know what we've been taught. I'm going to tell you some things tonight that are going to be hard to hear. They're just simply going to be hard to hear. It's going to be hard to hear because it's the first time you've ever heard it. But let me help you open your mind to hearing some things tonight that you haven't heard before. When it comes to health and wellness and longevity, who believes Japan probably is the #1 country in the world? Yeah. They outlive all of us per capita. Yeah. If you look around, that doesn't even surprise people. But what should surprise you is that in the United States of America, we're not ranked #2 or #5. The US of A. We're not in the top 10 countries. Does that surprise you? Or is that just me? We're not in the top 20. We're not in the top 30. We're not in the top 40. We're ranked 49th in the world today. 48 countries outlive us. You know who 48th is today? Somalia. If you were born and raised in Somalia and just got here, you're going to outlive the room statistically. That's scary. That's scary. So, are you open? We're here tonight. Are you open to hear about what the top 5 countries are doing when it comes to healthcare reform? What they do and how they approach health and disease? It's going to be something you haven't heard before. So just be open to hearing those things. I would tell you that when I was introduced to this, there was a real smart guy, and I sat where you were sitting, and he said, this is medical grade, restructured alkaline water. And I looked around the room and thought, what a smart thing to say. I have no idea what he's talking about. Why does everybody else seem like they know what he's talking about? I didn't know anymore when I sat down. And then someone took the time to explain restructured water, and then the bells started going off. I started to understand a little bit. So I thought, hey, that was handy-dandy information. That guy probably should have led with that. I'm going to lead with it. Because when we know that we restructure properties, who believes they take on different forms altogether?
Yes.
One person? No, 3? Yeah. 5. Just so I get to know the crowd a little bit. Raise your hand if you're excited about getting some good new information. Yes. Who are you? There we go. Hey, let's be fair. Raise your hand if you're not really sure what you're going to see tonight. There's a few. Is that fair? We're all involved to some degree. Raise your hand if you're not going to raise your hand no matter what I say.
That's fair.
See, that's fair. We're all involved, right? So when we restructure properties, they take on different forms. The best example I know is courts. Quartz is a beautiful stone that comes out of the earth. It makes a beautiful granite countertop, wouldn't you agree? But quartz is not complicated molecularly. Matter of fact, we're running out of things you can do with quartz. But when you restructure quartz, let me get your attention. When we restructure quartz, and all that means is you take the same molecular structure and you change the batting order up. Well, you can restructure quartz into crystal quartz. Who believes that's nothing like quartz?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Right? Crystal quartz, you can run light through it and heat to it. You can make a fine watch with crystal quartz. You can guide a missile with it. You can communicate with it. You could do fiber optics. So this kind of goes on and on, doesn't it? Well, water's the same way. Water's just H2O. It is not complicated molecularly. We learned it in grade school, elementary school, and there's only a few things water can do. That's probably why when someone said, you gotta come see this, and all these incredible properties and these things that this water does, that's too hard for us to hear. We've been doing that deal our whole life, H2O. None of these things have happened to us or anybody we've ever met. You know, maybe that's why you came. What is this, could this possibly be? Well, here's the simplicity to it. What this medical device does, among many things, one of the things it does is it restructures water. It just simply takes H2O and it cleaves off one of the hydrogen molecules. And what's actually coming out of the top of this hose is actually OH negative. It's even got a name. It's called hydroxyl. Now here's a whole smoking gun. Hydroxyl, like crystal quartz. Hydroxyl is just a different animal. Hydroxyl does things water can't do. H2O can't do. Now I don't know who needed to hear that. I really don't. I did. When I said where you were, I needed to hear this dude wasn't going to talk about H2O all night. I was in the club and I was the H2O drinker. To find out that it wasn't H2O, I was like, okay, I'm a little bit open to hearing these things. So what I want to do tonight is tell you about the three properties of this water. Then I'm going to show you the three properties of this water. And then I'm going to teach you how healthcare is approached in other countries. And then I'm going to show you how healthcare is approached in other countries. And I'll make it ABC, and we'll stay real quick. One of the first properties of this Kangen water is that it is a very powerful antioxidant. Extremely powerful antioxidant. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. You know, I say that and people say, what is a natural anti-inflammatory? Well, you know what anti-inflammatories are. You might be taking ibuprofen or Aleve. You know it works. It's an anti-inflammatory. But you got to know it's not natural. You can't take ibuprofen for the next 30 years. You know that, right? Your body can't process it. The liver's going to have issues. And we know that, so we just take it and go, but the pain is going away. I'll roll the dice. Well, that's not natural. This is natural. You're going to drink it, and you're going to wake up in the morning, and your feet aren't going to hurt, and pains are going to go away. And you're going to call the person who introduced this to you and say, how can water do that? Well, one, it's not water. Two, it's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's a natural antibiotic. And I'll tell you more about that tonight. That's pretty simple. And it's also a natural anti-aging property. Who finds that one hard to hear? Someone told me anti-aging. I was like, that's cute. Does it come with a unicorn? I mean, what is anti-aging? We all want to anti-age, right? And then I found a good way to at least show that to you. This is a jar I filled up with metal. I showed a few of you earlier. But I put it in here 5 years ago, but I filled it up with tap water. Tap water is oxidizing, it's aging, it's rusting, it's harmful, it's inviting inflammation into the body. I just shake that up and put it on the camera so you can see. And this doesn't surprise you, right? You can cut an apple in half, you can watch it age, rust, oxidize. You can leave some metal out over the weekend when it rains, and this is going to happen. But this should surprise you. 5 years ago, I filled up with the same metals in another jar, but I filled it up with negatively charged, electrolyzed, reduced, anti-aging water. Now, there's a lot of, the metal is deoxidized, but it hasn't rusted. I mean, if someone said, Mike, you got 2 minutes, go, I would say, explain that to me. It's hard to explain, isn't it? I mean, which one do you want to cook your food with tonight, brush your teeth with, wash your face with, clean your babies with? All water must not be created equal. When I saw this 9 years ago, I relaxed a little bit and thought, there's probably a lot I don't know about water. And I went ahead and opened up my arms and said, let me see what you got. Teach me a little bit, because this one already, I'm stumped. If all water was the same, this kind of blows that theory, doesn't it? But don't let that surprise you. As I was telling someone else earlier, if you're taking an anti-aging toner or astringent or something, and you're spending $20 or $200 a month, flip it over. I guarantee you the first property is hydroxyl. It's the anti-aging molecule on the planet. Like I was saying, hydroxytone, hydroxynet, hydroxygen, hydroxylin, it's hydroxyl something. That's the anti-aging molecule from that. So let me tell you about oxidants and antioxidants. And I'm going to say it a couple of ways, because I do have some medical people in the room, I have scientists in the room, And everybody needs to hear it a little bit differently. So oxidants are aging, they're rusting, they're wreaking havoc on your body, they're inviting inflammation in. But they're positively charged ions. Antioxidants, they have a lot of names, but they're negatively charged ions. Antioxidants is why you eat vegetables, because they're negatively charged. Your free radicals in your body are causing havoc. Free radicals are like something like a tripod missing a leg. It's just wreaking havoc in your body. And what antioxidants do, they loan it an electron, the free radical, and it stabilizes it and takes out the trash. Electron, negative, right? Remember this one from middle school. Proton, positive. Neutron, neutral. Electron, negative. So it loans it a negative charge. That's an antioxidant. Another name for antioxidants, you hear it a lot in the marketplace, Gatorade's full of electrolytes. Same thing. They could have said Gatorade's full of antioxidants. They could have said Gatorade's full of negatively charged ions. They said we would have all went, well, that doesn't mean anything to us. but it's the same thing, negatively charged. So if you measure a property and it's positively charged, that's an oxidant. It's aging, it's rusting. Negatively charged would be an antioxidant. So here's the good news. You can measure oxidants and antioxidants today scientifically. You couldn't do that years and years ago, but you can now. You measure it in a scientific term. If you're taking notes, this is a good one, and it's called ORP. That's the measurement of those. That's oxidation reduction potential. The potential for properties to oxidize or to age or to rust. Some of these properties are more oxidizing than others. Kind of household items though, aren't they? Some of these are so oxidizing, you may want to consider whether you want to put that in your body, but how would we know? They're all kind of household stuff. Well, now they make an ORP meter. It has one job. It measures properties. If I measure a property and it's a positive 100, that property's an oxidant. It's aging, it's rusting, and it's inviting inflammation in your body. If I measure a property and it's a positive 200, does this make sense? We're going the wrong way. That's more oxidizing. A positive 300, you're going off the grid on oxidation. If there was a bus outside with black diesel smoke and your baby or grandbaby was standing in that smoke, you'd pull them out. You know that's not healthy. If I could just rush this out there, that'd be about a positive 450 ORP, just so you have a baseline to what would be kind of hazardous. You wouldn't leave your kid out there long. You don't need it. You don't need to consult your doctor or get on the internet. You just pull them out, right? It's pretty simple. Let me check what the internet people say first. Okay. Now, that's about a 450. But if I could find a property and it measured to negative, like a -5, that's a true antioxidant, a true anti-inflammatory, a true anti-aging property. So let me tell you about your body and what you're going to see. You have these 73 trillion cells in your body, lots of them. And those cells are wrapped around like a little aquaporin that protects the cell. And inside each of the cells are little ports. They're actually hexagonal in shape. Well, those cells need to get to a -50 millivolts to rebound. Your body's electrical, right? Your body's like 80% water, and it happens to be salt water. So your bodies respond, they start to rebound at a -50. People say, what do you mean rebound? I mean, if you have a headache, if you have a hangover, if your feet hurt, if you have diabetes, if you have cancer, if you have the flu, no matter what, your bodies can't start rebounding to a -50. So let me tell you about some antioxidants. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Most of us are aware of that, right? Well, when you measure vitamin C, it happens to be about a -50 on the ORP scale. Isn't that coincidentally make a little bit of sense? Like when you get the flu and you're going to approach it homeopathically, what's the good advice? You should probably stay hydrated, make sure you get lots of liquids, and you get lots of rest. Oh, and take a bunch of vitamin C. Does that sound pretty normal? And we do, don't we? We don't even know why. Yeah, everybody does vitamin C when you have the flu. If someone said scientifically, why vitamin C? You go, I don't know, because everyone does. It's because it's a -50. That's where the body starts to rebound. If you're not doing if you do anything underneath vitamin C, you don't even have a chance. Does that make sense? If you drink like a green tea, a nice green tea, a high quality green tea, properly steeped, not just an old green tea, you can get to a -85. Who thinks that might be a good regimen to add? Sure. Get rest, get hydrated, take some vitamin C, go find you a nice herb or a supplement and take it daily. Help you rebound. Why? It's 1.5 times what the cell needs. Who thinks people do rebound that way with that criteria? Yeah, that's part of healthcare reform there. It's not treating the symptom. How about juicing? You don't have to raise your hand, but we know people who juice. You might juice. Let me at least tell you why people juice. You juice because you can get to a -100. And if you could juice every day, that's powerful. You talk to a juicer, he'll stand on why he juices. But let me tell you the two things he'll also tell you. It's very expensive. And they don't tend to stay with it. And every time I say that, a juicer comes up afterwards and says, what do you mean we don't stay with it? And I'm like, how long you been juicing? Like a year and a half? I said, that's what I mean. It's hard to meet someone who's been juicing for 10 years or 20 years. You know, it's their lifestyle. It's just kind of trendy to get through the situation. That makes sense? But let me at least tell you why. Can you imagine a negative 200 on this planet? That'd be a very powerful antioxidant. So we're going to measure some of these properties. Before I go any further, I just want you to know my heart, because if you'll understand my heart, you'll get more out of tonight. I believe we're all adults in the room. We get to make our own decisions. Does that make sense? If I want to go outside and smoke a cigarette, I should be able to smoke a cigarette. That's an adult decision. You shouldn't judge me that I smoke. You can decide whether it's a good decision, whether it's a bad decision. But I'm an adult, right? But if you see me give my 10-year-old a cigarette, then I can't do that one, right? See the difference? What I've got to show you tonight is to help you. I'm not judging you. You want to come back and drink these things? Drink them. You're an adult. But once you understand what these are, you can't let your mama drink them, your children drink them, your spouse, because they're dealing with diabetes or cancer. I'm here just to educate you and give you information and not to tell you what you got to do on this planet. Does that make sense? You'll get more out of it tonight if you know I'm not preaching to you. From that standpoint. So we're going to measure some of these properties. We're going to find out how oxidizing they are. They might surprise you. Or if they're antioxidants or electrolytes, like the marketplace says. The second property I'm going to show you is that this water is alkalized, not alkaline. It's alkalized in its very nature. Now I'm just guessing for some of you that might be all you knew coming here, because that's all I knew. I knew it was water, I knew it was alkaline. I wouldn't know what it looked like if they put it in my face when I walked in the door, but I knew it was water and I knew it was alkaline. So in just in case one of you don't have a background in pH, I was that guy. pH is real simple. It goes from 0 to 14. Pretty simple. There's no such thing as a 15 pH. It only goes to 14 and 7 is neutral. Anything under 7 would be acidic. Anything over 7 would be alkaline. And let me tell you why that should be important to you. There was a Dr. Otto Warburg. Now I want you to say that name to yourself. I don't want you to say it out loud. Otto Warburg. Does he sound like he's from South Texas? No. Yeah, he's from Germany. He's from the fifth Reich country. Yeah, I say that, people say, sounds like he's from New Brunswick. Same thing, right? Same thing, he's from New Brunswick. Anyway, this guy won 2 Nobel Prizes. And if you know the Nobel Prize, it's not a theory prize. It wasn't some dude with a great theory, it's a fact prize. And this guy won 2. He did, not in the United States. Might be why you haven't heard of it. He won 1 in science and 1 in medicine, where he proved that cancer, sickness, disease, inflammation, high blood pressure, the flu, diabetes, none of those things can survive in an alkaline environment. Where's that information? Well, Mike, it sounds opinionated. He won 2 Nobel Prizes. Look it up. That's not an opinion. That's fact-based and proven. Those things actually thrive in an acidic environment. Now look, we don't have a big crowd tonight, and that's okay. I think really, truly, everybody's supposed to be here is here. But even in this little bitty room, let me tell you, statistically, there's cancer in this room. It's sad, mean, makes you cry, it's unacceptable. We've lost too many people to cancer. Let me tell you, cancer is not complicated molecularly. If you'll talk to the cancer patient or the oncologist, let me tell you the number 1 property of cancer, this probably won't surprise you, it's acidosis. That doesn't even really surprise very many people. They're like, yeah, I can figure that. But the number 2 property kind of catches people up. The number 2 property of cancer is a term called hypoxia, which is lack of oxygen. That's the number 2 property of cancer. You're being introduced to a medical device from Japan. It's not an appliance. It's alkaline in its very nature. If you don't know that, I'm going to show that to you. You're halfway home, according to this Nobel Prize winner. And you know it's super oxygenated because it's OH negative. It's 1 O and it's 1 H. That's the molecular structure. It's 50% O and 50% H. And guess what the O is? Oxygen. You might be hearing some incredible, hard to hear testimonial stories about what this water's done for people right around you, in this very room and around the world, when it comes to cancer, diabetes, Crohn's, which is not supposed to have a cure, inflammations, all these things. They're hard to hear stories. These are the properties of them. But let me be real clear tonight. I'm not here to tell you this water cured these people of cancer and Crohn's and diabetes. I'm here to tell you that what this water did is it took those 73 trillion cells and moved it alkaline, where those things couldn't live. And their own immune system, the way God made their body, beefed up, and it beat those diseases. I don't want to go on record telling you this is magic water. If you drink it, it's going to cure you. That's ridiculous. But this water will put your body in a state that it will heal itself. And all those stories are true, even in this very room of people that used to have cancer. Does that make sense? The water didn't cure them, it just moved those. So let me tell you, we don't really talk about pH in the United States. It's just not something we talk about medically. And you don't have to be a doctor to know that's a true statement. You know why? We go to doctors, don't we? And they check for a lot of stuff, don't they? I'll start naming them. You can name them. They check your cholesterol, your blood. What else? Your weight, sugar.
Credit card.
We can put them in order. Check your credit card. Do you have insurance, sir?
That's the first thing.
That's the first thing.
That's the first
Yeah. Are you covered? That's not really the case around the world. What are some other things they check for? I mean, we can do this for an hour, couldn't we? When's the last time they checked your pH? No one really stands up to that, do they? They're like, well, I thought it was just me. Really? When did they check your pH? Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Now, if you have a medical background, they know it does get checked from time to time, but like when you're in a crash situation, that's through your urine or something. But you don't get in and get tested on your pH. You find this interesting. If you went to a Japanese hospital, not only do they check your pH, it's the first thing they check, and they don't even know how to start homeostasis until they can figure out a baseline of your pH. Isn't that kind of crazy? So let me share this with you. I want you to hear what I'm saying tonight. That's easy. Then I want you to hear what I didn't say tonight. And that's going to be a little bit difficult because I walked out of here the first night I saw this and I said all the wrong things to all the wrong people. I didn't quite understand what he was saying. So what am I saying? I'm talking about moving your pH at the cellular level. The 73 trillion cells moving it alkaline, where that's going to take over your immune system and get you healthy. That's easy. What did I not say? I need you to hear this. Well, I wasn't talking about your blood pH. Anybody with a medical background is going to need to hear me say this. Or you need to hear me say this before you go out and talk to the public. So your blood pH doesn't change. Your blood pH has very little regulation. A lot of things in your body has very little regulation. Your temperature has little regulation, right? You've never met anybody with a 73 temperature, have you? Or 114?
No.
Right? Yeah, it's just got a little variance, right? Blood's even less than that. So your blood pH doesn't really move. Your blood pH is about 7. 7 is neutral, right? 7.365 of a hundredth of a point. And if it moves a tenth of a point to the left, you're probably going to go into a coma. If your blood pH moves a tenth of a point to the right, you're probably going to expire. You're probably not going to make it. Now, based on that, people will say, hey, this is all mythical stuff. It doesn't matter what you eat or drink on this planet. Your body's going to make it alkaline. Absolutely true. Your body's going to make it 7.365. Bet your life on it. No matter what you eat or drink, your body's going to make it 7.365. Here's what's not taught in the United States, and this is what I came to teach you tonight. This is what's taught around the world. How did your body make it 7.365? What did your body have to go through to reach homeostasis? At what price did your body pay for you to reach homeostasis? And what about the day it didn't make it 7.365? Is that ever on the table? These are all books. These are doctors outside the world, outside the United States. This is Dr. Theodore Brody. His book says alkalize or die. It's not even a suggestion. It'll tell you exactly that. You were born alkaline, you will die acidic. It's all pH driven, right? Well, let me teach it to you because I'm going to tell you what I'm going to show you. It's real simple. Let's just say your blood's a 7, neutral, and you put a 6 in it, something a pH of 6. That's not a big deal. That's only 10 times more acidic than your blood. It's not one time. It's logarithmic, right? It's got like an algorithm. So that's 10 times more acidic than your blood. So what does your body have to do to get to 7? It's real simple. It's got to go into your body and find alkaline minerals, magnesium, potassium, calcium. And it leaches them out and reaches homeostasis. It's not even a big deal. You can do that. The younger you are, the easier it is. Something 10 times more acidic is simple, real simple. And that's not the bad news. But when you put a 5 in your body, that's 100 times more acidic. It's not 20, it's 100 times. Okay, now your body's got to do a few more things it wasn't really prepared to do. Not a big deal. But when you put a 4 in your body, that's 1,000 times more acidic. Your body's going to come leaching minerals out of places you can't afford to leach them. Matter of fact, in our 40s, in our 50s, doctor has them on it. Oh, my doctor has me on magnesium. My doctor has me on potassium. Yeah, because we're short. Excuse me. Because we're short those minerals. Yeah, he has you on them. Does that make sense? It sounds like bad news, doesn't it? Yeah. When you put a 3 in your body, that's 10,000 times more acidic than your blood pH, and your body wasn't designed for that. And your body's got to go crawling out of places you just can't afford to lose them. It's going to take them from places that you're not relating to the pH. You're relating it to the disease. I have this. I'm 42 and I'm dealing with this. What pHs are you putting in your body? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, Where do you think the minerals come from? How do you think you stay 7.365? Does that make sense? And then about that time, people go, okay, you're gonna have to show me that, but what's really a 3 on this planet? Well, let me show you some 3s. How about all the Capri Suns, the little sports drinks we give the kids? That's a 3. You're not putting them on the right track if you're putting 10,000 times more acidic than your blood. All those sports drinks, Propels, vitamin waters, Gatorades, all those are a 3. Sodas, Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, all those are 3s. We're putting a lot of 3s in our bodies, and we don't even know it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to show you some of those from that standpoint. Hey, listen, don't let that surprise you. I mean, let's be logical. If you don't have the medical background, think about this logically. If your pool was sick, it's green, it's full of algae, you're not swimming in it. Your dog doesn't get to drink it. You're like, no, get away from that pool. That's not healthy. How do you think they get it healthy? Who thinks they change out all the water, shock the pool, balance the pH? Not so crazy, huh? People say, well, a pool's not alive. I think it is. I think water's very much alive. How about, raise your hand if you ever had a fish tank. 4 people. Raise your hand if you ever met anybody who ever had a fish tank. There we go. Come on, we all gotta play. Have you ever seen a fish kind of swimming like funky, like kicking weird, and you're like, hey, that dude's not gonna make it? Yeah. What do you think the answer is? Well, let me teach you healthcare reform in the United States. You'd bag him up and take him to the doctor. You know, fish is, he's kicking kind of funky. You go, what do we do? He's gonna do 3 things. He's gonna run some tests on your fish. He's gonna name the ill. He's gonna give him a pill. You're gonna get the bill. That's healthcare reform. Right? He's gonna say, hey, what's your fish name? Willie. Okay, let me tell you about Willie. He's gonna be okay. Willie has left funky rear gill syndrome. Ever heard of that? Yeah, your fish has it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Well, it's not complicated. You just put this little flake on top of the water every morning. He'll come up and take that flake. And we can treat this, we can manage this. Is he gonna die? No, as long as he comes and takes that pill every day, he's gonna be okay. And that's all? Oh no, that's not all. Here's the bill. You're not in Europe, you're not in Japan. It's not a free service. Does that make a little sense? Take that fish to your veterinarian and see if that conversation goes a little differently. You know what he's gonna say? He's gonna say, Mike, this is real simple. Your fish tank is like, he's just like you. You know how you're 80% water? Your fish tank's 80% water. And anyone ever had a fish tank, you know, I told the pet guy, my fish tank's like 100% water. Because when it's 80% water, it gurgles all night and I can't get to sleep, right? You know? And he says, no, you're missing the point. When you take out all the rocks and that little scuba diver dude who swims around in that pump house, there's about 80% water. And I'm like, okay, what's your point? You win. He says, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take out all that water and change it out and put some good clean water in there. Because that's mainly what that fish tank is, just like you. And change out all the water. And I said, then he's gonna live? He goes, well, you're gonna need to put a few drops of these in there first. And I'm like, well, you're the pet dude. What do those drops do? Anybody want to guess what those drops do? They balance the pH in the fish tank. So I'm gonna change out all the water and balance the fish tank. My fish is gonna have a chance. Who believes the fish got a chance? Come on, logically, how far off are we in a fish? Could there be something to this? I'm gonna show it to you. I'm just trying to get you to understand it medically, or at least understand it logically, what I'm gonna show you. Because now you understand what I showed you. The third property is this water's itty bitty molecular. Itty bitty, small. This is not H2O. It's gonna superhydrate you at the cellular level. So there's hydration and there's hydration at the cellular level. Does that make sense? Those are 2 different things. Hydration is, you know, would you like something to drink? No. My tongue isn't sticking to the top of my mouth. Oh, well, you must not be thirsty. You must be hydrated, right? Hydration at the cellular level, that's where inflammation goes away. Pains go away. That's what this book is all about. This is, I just learned how to say his name after years. I already forgot, but it's Batman Galej, I believe. Galej, is that what I said? Yeah. What did I say?
I thought you said Gotti.
Gotti?
Batman Gotti?
No.
Something like that?
I still don't know how to say it.
Gotti?
Galej? Gelage. Dr. Batman.
That'll work.
We're just going to stay with Dr. Batman. So anyway, his book says your body's many cries for water. Pretty cool, huh? He says you're not sick, you're thirsty. First time I read it, same thing I thought, well, that's cute, but there's some of us that are sick, like on medication sick. That's a kind of a cute book, but he's saying I'm not sick, I'm thirsty, you know. And here my aunt's on 9 meds, she's sick. And he says, no, read the rest of my book, quit taking medications for dehydration. Yes. You're clinically dehydrated and don't know it. People say, what do you mean clinically dehydrated? Well, in the United States, 98% of us are clinically dehydrated and don't know it. That means she's hydrated at the cellular level and none of us are. And there's a lot of people that will argue that point. They say, hey, I'm in her camp. I'm a water drinker. I know a lot of people drink this stuff, but I don't, Doc. Matter of fact, it's what I drink, Aquafina. And Doc says, well, how many of these do you drink a day? I said, I drink like 6 a day, 7 a day, 8 a day. And he says, well, you're still in that group. You're not in hers. You probably should be drinking 26 or 28 of these, 30 of these a day. I was like, well, who's going to do that? And what he's telling you is you're just drinking the wrong water that molecularly doesn't have the potential to hydrate you. Now, let me tell you something that's going to be hard to hear tonight. I'm getting ready to show you all this. Water doesn't even hydrate you. That's hard to hear. It's the minerals in the water that hydrate you. Water is the propulsion to push the minerals into the port. And the better shaped it is, the easier to go in. Hydration's not a phenomenon. Hydration is a Nobel teaching. You can watch a 15-minute video. It's the minerals and the supplements that can get into a port, filter, and come out the other port of the cell. That's hydration. It's real simple. But it's got to be small enough to get into the port. If it can't get into the cell, it has no way of hydrating you. So this is itty-bitty water. This is itty-bitty molecularly. You might have already had 2 glasses. You might have 3 or 4 before you leave, and you wonder, how am I drinking so much water? I never drink this much water. That's because this one didn't go into your belly. This one's going into the cells, into the tissues, into the organ. H2O is bulky. That's why people don't drink water. I'll introduce this to somebody, they're like, I'm not a water drinker. Why? It slows me down, it's bulky. You ever drink a lot of water and someone says, let's go take a walk? And you're like, give me a second, right? Want to go play some golf or basketball or something? You're like, hold on, I just drank a bunch of water, right? Well, let me help you with that. Water binds together molecularly, H2Os, they bind. Scientifically, it's called surface tension. And some waters have more surface tension than others. Does that make sense? When H2Os bind at 20 molecules, think of it as like a golf ball. Obviously under a microscope, right? But when water binds at 40 molecules, water's bigger. It's got more surface tension. Now they're like softballs. When water binds at 90 molecules, and people say, well, what is that 90 molecules? Well, most bottled water is at 90 molecules because it's been in there more than 24 hours, if you don't know. It's been in there more than 24 months, if you really want to know. There's a lot of surface tension in it. Those are like basketballs. Well, if I had a big bucket in front of me, and it was full of golf balls, softballs, and basketball, hundreds. It took all 4 of us to pick the bucket up. And we took a running start, and we threw it up against a chain link fence, the backstop of a dugout. Who believes most of those properties aren't going through the fence? Right. Who believes if you stood on the other side, some of those golf balls would come through? That's hydration. That's hydration. The golf balls that made it through was hydration. What happened to the rest? It bypassed the fence, and it hit the floor. What happens to the water, the minerals that don't get into the cell? They bypass all the tissues, the organs, and you urinate them out. So how do we get hydrated, super hydrated? You got to throw a lot of buckets at it. Is that starting to make sense? Go to your doctor and say, how much, should I be drinking water? Absolutely. Mainly water, right? You say, how much? And what does he say? A lot. A bunch. That's just the answer, right? You need to drink a bunch of water, right? Why do you have to drink a bunch? Because it's real simple. If you'll drink a bunch of water today, H2O, there's enough golf balls in there to make a difference. You got to drink a bunch to get to them. When I tell you this is itty-bitty molecularly, imagine this is, the Kangen water is only 4 molecules. Everything I tell you I'm going to show you. I'm getting ready to show you. The Kangen water is like 4 molecules, 5 molecules. There's very few things that small on the planet. What does that mean? That means if I filled this up with a property, it'd be like BBs. If I filled them up with BBs and tossed them, wouldn't they all go through the fence? That's hydration at the cellular level. That's hydration. That's what an IV is, right? IVs don't make you full. They're itty-bitty. They're getting to the tissue, the organ, the cell. They're mineral rich. You ever went in and got an IV and that's all they did? They took some blood, ran some tests, told you whether it was viral or bacterial, but all they gave you was an IV. And you felt a little better? Yeah, I feel a little better. Why are you feeling better? Is it just water, saline, salt, minerals? Oh, we got to the cellular level. Does that make sense? Yeah, so let me show you this. Who's ready to see this? Right? I know that's a lot of information, but this will go over a little quicker if you have understanding of what those 3 properties are. Let me introduce you to some properties. This is Dasani. And Dasani, believe it or not, guess who it was made by? Made by Coca-Cola. I don't know if that surprised anybody. It did me sitting where you were. This is Aquafina, and I thought this was a big Aquafina company. This is made by Pepsi. So my first question was, they kind of got to this quicker than I did, and I thought, hey, what is the big 1 and 2 Coca-Cola, Pepsi even doing in this business? Because we know they make billions in this business, right? Not millions. Millions you can put your arm around, right? 7 million? That'd be like, 7 people who made $1 million. It's simple. When someone says 12 billion, I don't know about you, I kind of like, I don't know what box to put that in. That's a big number, right? If they're doing billions, what are they doing in this business? Well, let me help you. This isn't where the money's at, even in the billions. This is where the money's at, it's in the trillions. So all they gotta do is move you. I'm gonna teach you how they moved you, why they moved you, and I'll make this make sense, just from a business standpoint. This is made by Coca-Cola, this is made by Coca-Cola. Anything I say you don't agree with, let me know. This is about $1 on the way here. This is about $1 on the way here. People say, this is 69 cents at my store. Well, that one's probably 69 cents at that store. Are you with me? I don't know how much of the dollar this bottle is eating up the profit. I don't claim to know. 10 cents? I don't know. But I know this. You're already making money. They could just move you already.
Wow.
If you don't know what's in here, there's sugar, there's artificial sweetener, there's a dye in here, there's carbonation. There's a lot of things eating up profit. How much, Mike? I don't know. But let me tell you what's in here. This is tap water. Ran through reverse osmosis. Now, if you don't know what Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Nestle's paying for the tap water, let me help you. They pay 0.002 1/100ths of 1 penny a gallon, and we bought a pint. Home run.
Wow.
Home run. I'm gonna teach you how they got you there. Then you're gonna say, well, wait a minute, it was ran through reverse osmosis. Well, let me help you with that. Because you might have reverse osmosis, you might know someone who does. And let me tell you why people bought it in the United States. Because they told you the truth about reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis takes out the bad minerals and it takes out the bad gases. And we'll pay for clean water, we've already proven that, right? Reverse osmosis is expensive, and people pay for it. But let me tell you what they didn't tell you if you have reverse osmosis. It takes out the good minerals. It takes out everything. The Japanese call it dead water. Reverse osmosis is banned in 20% of the world. Banned. What 20% do you think it is? What's those top 5 countries? They banned it. Why? There's not even any minerals in it. The very essence of why you're buying it is to hydrate you. It doesn't even scientifically, molecularly have the ability to hydrate you. You have dead water in a petroleum-based bottle with no regulation. This could be 2 weeks old. Does that bother you? It could be 2 years old. It could be 6 years old. There's no regulation here. And all water breaks down. All water. It's the greatest solvent in the world. Would you agree? It carved out the Grand Canyon. You have the greatest solvent in the world in a petroleum-based bottle leaching into plastic with not one thing in here to help you. I mean, if you're drinking Dasani to hydrate, you're missing the boat. Scientifically, it doesn't even have the ability to do it. So those countries have banned it that says you can't, that means you can't import it in, you can't export it out, you can't have it in our country. Why? Because it's a scam. It's just $1 on something you think is good for you. It's okay, I'll show you how they got you there. This is Ozarka. I'll show you how they got us all there. I was there too. I'm not pointing fingers. This is what I drank before I saw this. Ozarka, I mean, I'm a smart guy. It has to come from some mountain. I mean, they can't lie to us. They can mislead us, but they can't lie to us. They wrote it on the bottle this time, so I figured I'll go with the Ozarka. And my friends are like, Mike, just read the bottle. And I'm like, well, who does that? So I read the bottle, and it says it right there, Wood County, Texas. This is their water. And I thought, well, I'm not mad at them. That was pretty good game there. I thought it came from the tip of some kind of mountain. This is the baby water. This is what we give the babies. This one costs a little more than this. Now let me teach you how they got you. It took them 15 years to get you to drink this. And they wrote it on the bottle. I'm going to tell you the word, and then you think, don't say it out loud, you think of the word it means to you. Because they got you to hear this word. This isn't a true, this is what they got you to hear. It says right there, purified water. Now think of what that means to you. And I'll tell you what it means to you. They got you to hear the word clean. It's purified. Oh, it's clean. Yeah. Why do you buy purified water? It's clean. It's not clean, it's purified. Yeah, same thing. Not the same thing. It's purified. I don't understand. It's the same thing. No. It's purified. There's nothing good in it. There's nothing bad in it. It's just dead. That's why scientists use purified water, reverse osmosis to test. There's no outside variables. Nothing good, nothing bad. It comes out the same every time. It's hard to hear it, I know. You know why it's hard to hear? We don't know water. We walked in the door with water being water, didn't we? We know food though, don't we? Who believes what's wrong with our food today, not 100 years ago, is we farmed our land and farmed our land and farmed our land and stripped it of its minerals to the point we're taking some supplements for what's missing in our very soil. Who believes that's true?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and farm the same land for the next 200 years. Can you imagine it getting to a point there weren't any good minerals or bad minerals in the soil? And someone saying, hold on, that soil's been purified. They're gonna be like, no. We fell for that back in the bottled water days. That's not, purified is not a good thing. Does that make a little sense? Okay, here we go. This is Capri Sun. Now that's a mink. This is probably the worst property I have on this table.
Wow.
And people are like, oh, I mean, not bad like soda, just bad. No, bad like soda. Bad like soda. These are the sports drinks. These are the propels. Stay with me because they wrote this one on the bottle. And I told you to read the bottle. They wrote this one. It says antioxidants on the bottle. So that's got to be true. They wrote it on it. This is an antioxidant hunter. It has one job. Antioxidants are negatively charged. Stay with me. If this comes up a -1, that would be a very true statement, wouldn't it? It'd take 50 of these to equal a vitamin C tablet. That would be a little misleading. At least you'd know. But if this comes up -300, that's 3 times more powerful than juicy. You know? This is full of what? Electrolytes. This is why people drink Gatorade, electrolytes. This is an electrolyte hunter. If it comes up -5, it would take 10 of these to equal vitamin C. If it came up -400, I'd buy stock in it, right? I don't know if there's a -400 on the planet. These are the sodas. These are all sodas. It's mainly the carbonation. I go real slow here. Miss Jane back there, so Miss Jan. I don't know where I get Jan. But she comes by my table. Yeah, that's the only time you heard it? She comes by my table and shakes us up at nighttime. She's been doing this with me for a while. She just likes to see me sweat. I've always got my eyes on her. Jan. I don't know where I got you here. Miss Jane.
Jan did it.
Jan did it. No, that'll go. Hey, this is tap water. If you're a tap water drinker, don't shut down on me. Stay with me. I was a tap water drinker. When this guy showed me this, I just kind of tuned out. I thought, I've been drinking this since I was a little boy, and I'm in good shape. I mean, this can't be true. To find out this isn't what we've been drinking since we were little kids. There's no regulation in this industry anymore at all. And if you're interested in this industry, you can go to a documentary called TAPPED, T-A-P-P-E-D. You have to write it down. You can remember that's a 45-minute documentary. They walk you all through the bottled water and all the regulations and tap water and everything. So last year alone, not when we were little boys or little girls, there was 116,000 new chemicals introduced to your tap water. That wasn't there in 2015. That wasn't there in 2014. What are those chemicals? It's the steroid that's in the cows, the antibiotic that's in the chicken now. It's every medication we're on. It's the thyroid medication that's out of whack in the United States. It's the ADHD medications our children are on. It's the high blood pressure medications. It's all in your water and there's no regulation. And they don't run from it. Don't think this is conspiracy. You can call them up and they can tell you what parts per million. That's not going to affect you. You know, stay with me, okay? This is the star of the show, Kangen water, 9.5. Hey, let's get back to this. I didn't tell you. This is Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, sugar-free, calorie-1. It's carbonation, right? This is a Perrier, fancy water. It's champagne. It's all those. And I know that's hard to hear, but I got to say them all. Because people will say, I don't drink that. All I drink is champagne. And I was like, well, it's the same thing. So we know the difference. Let's run through these 3 properties real quick. And I'm not going to leave anything out. I'm just going real quick because you guys are blessed tonight. There's a guy in the room who speaks all over the United States. His story is told personally in different countries and different languages. He's actually here tonight. He's going to bless you with his personal life story. He's going to do a quick story on his testimonials in his life. And he is here tonight. This is Dasani, made by Coca-Cola. Ooh. I keep this in a real sterile environment, so let me shock my meter and get it going, and then we'll get going. There we go. This is Dasani. This has one job, guys. The first one's going to be a little slow, and then it's going to, I tell you what, can you get me?
Okay.
240. I'll figure it out. Once I figure it out, I'll keep guessing.
That's all, as far as I can go. I'm at the end
Okay,
of my
270, 270. This is a positive 270. Are you with me? This is an oxidant. Doesn't matter what your neighbor says. Doesn't matter what you read on the internet. Dasani is oxidizing. It's measured in its millivolts at 270. This is Aquafina. Aquafina is measured at 280. About the same. Well, fine. 280, a little bit higher, not much. They're about the same, if you really want to know. This one is a little more oxidizing than that one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Scientifically? This is Ozarka. It comes from the tips of where? What county, Texas? I always thought that was a mountain.
Oh, wow.
Glacier water, right? Okay, what, oh, 340.
340.
This is real simple, 340, 280, something, 280. If these were the only three on the planet, they were all the same size, and they all cost $1, well, you wouldn't buy Ozarka. Right? There's a better bang for your buck in the marketplace. I just showed you that. But before you quit buying Ozarka and start buying Dasani, come back next week when we do this. And guess what? This one might be a positive 200. And this one might be a positive 400. Why is that? Because all water breaks down. It breaks down with light. Time. Has it been in there for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years? Motion. You know, temperature. All water, including this water, has a shelf life. They just don't teach us that when we buy it. Is it in front of the Valero gas station all summer in pallets? Right? That can't be good if this is a true statement. So all water breaks down. So next week, maybe I grab this one, it's only been 2 weeks, and maybe this one comes from the Valero gas station, been in pallets all summer, it's a positive 400. The message is they're all oxidizing and aging, all of them. Depends on the time, and there's no regulation on how long they're in that bottle. But even the day they report, they were oxidizing. What does that mean? If you could find something for less money, and it's less oxidizing, you would buy it. It's pretty simple. This is what we give the babies. This is the baby. Oh, I was going to show the whole crowd, but he's got a.
360.
Oh wow, that's
360, yeah.
360.
that's about the most oxidizing one we have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? We're going to give it to the baby. It was like, I've been here 50 years. If anybody can afford to oxidize, it's the baby. That's how it works.
No.
And my kids didn't get to pick their daddy either. But why would you spend more money on something that's more, there's not even any minerals in it. They wrote it on the bottle, purified, no minerals. Now you're gonna make the formula with it. And it's the most oxidizing thing you could buy, and it costs a little more than these. I'm just giving you some good information. If you gotta choose this one. Make the formula with this one. It's the worst of the evils. You're going to find out why are we buying it. And if you really want to know how much you're spending, it's a crazy number. Because you're not going to buy a bottle of water for 3 years on a 3-year plan. You're going to buy that the rest of your life. And it's a silly number. This is what we give the kids.
Party time. 520,
Guys.
530.
Wow.
When you find out what 500, I just got to 530. When you find out what a 530 is on this planet, when you go research ORP, positive 530 equates to what? It's going to scare you. You can be like, I'm giving that to my grandkid? Hey, if your grandkid was standing out in the smoke, you'd pull them out at 450, right? Now get in here and drink something healthy. Nanny knows, Mama. Papa knows. We don't know, do we? We don't know what we don't know. We pull them out of the smoke and, I don't know, put them in the fire. Hey, these are facts. This has one job, guys.
Yes.
How many electrolytes are in here? Well, it's going down, that's a good news. Tell me when to start slowing down.
350. 350. Getting close.
Let's be fair, because somebody's gonna think it's gonna get to negative, it's not.
340.
About, yeah, 340. So a positive 340. Stay with me. This is saying it's more oxidizing than this one. And this one has electrolytes on the bottle. Let me help you with it. This is the marketplace. It's free enterprise. I'm glad we live in a country that, I do. I'm glad we have free enterprise. Freedom isn't free. I'm glad we do, but let me teach it to you. If I have 100 properties in here, and they're all oxidizing, aging, and rusting, 100 of them, and then I put 5 antioxidants in here, you with me? Got 100 positives and 5 negatives. But then I shake it up. It can't be both, can it? As a whole, what do you think it is?
340.
It's a positive 95 if you want to be precise. You know that I can sell it as a negative? I can even write negative on the bottle and charge more.
Wow.
Mike, you're saying it doesn't even have an ability to loan it an electron, a negatively charged ion, to grab the free radical, to take out the trash. So you're saying they don't work. Absolutely, I'm saying they don't work. If you want to buy Propel, buy Propel. Don't buy them for the electrolytes. Buy them because it fits your hand good. It tastes good. I'm not telling you not to buy them. Don't buy them for the electrolytes. They don't work. And people say, you know, they mess with the wrong cowgirl or the wrong cowboy. My dad's an attorney and I'm going to sue them. You're not going to sue them. They didn't say they work. He said electrolytes. So what do you mean they didn't say they work? Have you seen a commercial Bipropel, manage diabetes, fix inflammation, it's anti-aging?
No.
You've seen Bipropel throw enough of these at the fence and some of them go through just like the pros. It's the only commercial you ever saw. Again, if you want to buy it, but don't buy them for electrolytes. This is the one that catches everybody up. Our medical people still teach this, full of electrolytes. My sister's here tonight, so I'm going to try to say this, but this is what my mama had me drink. I can tell you the words, it's good for your belly, buddy. It's got full of electrolytes, and it's help you rebound. And what is that number?
360,
Negative?
climbing, 370.
Still going up.
It's climbing. More oxidizing than anything, any bottle of water.
390,
Let's just stop at
400.
It's a positive 400. Don't drink this for the electrolytes. If they were in here, I would have found them.
They're not.
But Mike, that's illegal if they're not in here. No, they're in there, but there's so many accidents, they're so acidic that they overpower them, and they don't have the ability to be electrically charged, negatively charged. So you're saying there's no electrolytes, Mike? No, they're in here, but they got overpowered by the oxidants to a point they can't help you. If they were in here, I would find them. If there was one in there, I would find a negative something, but it's positive 400. Quit buying Gatorade for electrolytes. Does that make sense? This is soda. Is soda an antioxidant? Most of us already knew it wasn't. 430, it doesn't matter what it goes down to.
440,
It's about 400. You notice this? Around 400, around 400, around 400, around 400. There's not a whole lot of difference, guys. I can't count people that say, I don't drink sodas. No, that's not good for you at all. You know, I work out, I jog, you know, I go to the gym, I play basketball, I golf. You know, we give this to the kids just to make sure we're healthy. There's no difference.
No.
Buy the one that costs the less. Buy the one that tastes the best. I'm not telling you not to drink them, but quit thinking that's the devil and you're on the health kick. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. This is scientific fact. This is tap water.
550.
Let me tell you, I'll give you some reasons why you don't drink it.
550.
Here's 550 reasons why you don't drink tap water. And the sooner you find out what a positive 550 is on this planet, you'll stop drinking it. More importantly, you'll stop cooking with it.
Yeah.
Why you're cooking with tap water, there's no regulation in it. It's because you don't know. We don't know, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know, we think it's clean. Drink it since we were a little kid.
EPA approved.
EPA approved tap water. What do you think all those chemicals are? Fluoride? I mean, I could give you a list of them, but
Benzene.
what is this number here?
Minus.
500.
Minus.
Negative.
Guys, you see the negative beside the 5?
Negative.
Turn it over here.
See the negative beside the 5? That's a negative 550 that I showed you. That's 5 times more powerful than juicing.
Wow.
And it doesn't cost anything to make. Yeah, you're gonna wake up different. Life's gonna change. If you could juice, you just can't afford to juice 5 times what someone's already juicing. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. You spend $1,000 a month, more than that. But if you could, do you think life would change if you juiced 5 times more than a regular juicer? Yeah. Inflammation would go away. You'd sleep different. Pains would go away. Yeah. Because those are antioxidants. That's why you juice. You juice for the negative charge, the electrical charge. Negative, what was it, negative 550? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's different every night.
Yeah.
It came from where?
In there.
Here? Now, this is out in the light, out in the temperature. You think it's broke down any since it came from here? This is where it came from. Let's find out. Oh, 650. Everybody see that? So this is a negative 650. It lost 100 ORP, millivolts, while it's sitting out here in 25 minutes. People say, well, 100, is that a big deal? You'll take vitamin C for 50. Wait a minute, you'll spend a couple $100 a month for 100. This happened in front of you. What do you think it did sitting in front of a little gas station all summer? This even breaks down. I have people tell me, hey, I give them 5 gallons and it takes them a week and a half to drink it. In the first 2-3 days, they're telling me how life changed. And I'm, hey, you want some more water? No, I still have some left. Oh, but you gotta keep it fresh.
Yep.
About the 6th day, can I bring you some more water? No, I'm not, it's really not doing much for us. No, the electrical charge is gone.
Yeah.
Of course it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
Of course it's not working. It's not that the technology changed, the water ran out of its properties. Just like it's running out here, just like these. If I leave them out tomorrow night, they're all gonna be different. All water breaks down. So this was the hardest one for me to learn. Our family's been drinking. This is my sister Kimberly. We've been drinking for 10 years now. And we never understood this one in the beginning because it was too scientific, ORP. To find out later, this is the big property that we didn't understand.
That's right.
This is what got us out of bed. This was gave us our stability, our vitality, our energy. Took away the pains and the inflammations. Yeah, that's ORP. Give that a round of applause for Shane. It just gives me time to drink.
Yep.
pH, I'm going to teach you healthcare and how it's approached around the world. This is potential hydrogen drops, pH drops, and this is what you can get your pool and spa company. I know a few of you walked in late. Let me just give you a crash course. pH goes 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. If it's orange, it's bad. If it's purple, it's good. So pretty simple. I'm going to put about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 drops in each cup. It really doesn't matter. Don't overcook this process. I'll try to do 5. Look at that little.
Wow.
Maybe I was chewing on it. Who knows? Doesn't match the others. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know where it went. Jane.
What?
Jan.
Jan, that's me.
You take mine. You take mine.
What?
Straw.
I did, I snuck right up there when you were.
The first couple of times I did this, somebody told me I was contaminating them with the same straw, so I went and got one. It's okay. Until you see it, man, you just gotta be skeptical, and I understand it. This is healthcare around the world, and I want you to think of it this way. This is how it's approached. Think of these of all as people. This is really most of us in the United States. These are about a sixth. You know, what I didn't tell you is when your body goes to get those minerals, you know, to balance your pH, it goes to the safest place first, where it can take those minerals and it stores in your body so it doesn't hurt. It goes to fat, and it stores those minerals, magnesium, potassium, calcium. It stores them in fat so it can go into the fat and reach homeostasis, and that doesn't hurt. You don't even really notice it. It makes it harder to lose weight as we get older, but it doesn't sting. But then it goes up a notch. We get a little older, and it goes to muscle because we ran out of the properties in the fat, and then it goes to muscle. We get a little bit older, maybe not older, just drinking more acidic things, didn't have anything to do with age. Then it goes to bone. This is a chronological order. If you look at osteoporosis in Europe versus the United States, just go home and research it. Parts per million, per capita. It's landslide. It's epidemic in the United States. And then where do you think it goes when it runs out of that mineral? And maybe we're a little bit older. It goes to brain. Brain has priority. You know, look at dementia and those type diseases. That used to be our 98-year-old grandmother's disease, didn't it? You know, you hear the story, oh, Mimi's got dementia. And you're like, how's Mimi now? She's 96. And you're like, I hope I make it 96. I mean, I know it's sad, but she's 96. And today, who is it? It's our 50-year-old brother, isn't it? He's got onset dementia. He's got, you know, those type of diseases. Why? Because we burned through that mineral. It's taught around the world. It's just not taught here. Here we treat the symptom. And I'm just telling you there's other ways to do healthcare. If you think, hey, but the United States is pretty good at it. We're 49th. We're not very good at it. It's money. We're not very good at it. Bottled water is just slightly acidic. It's not a big deal. This is 10 times more acidic than your blood. It just takes a few minerals to reach homeostasis. What's homeostasis? Alkaline, right? 7. What are all these things? We get the flu, we get stressed out, we get fatigue, you know, acid reflux. These are the bad boys. These are the 3 pHs, 10,000 times more acidic than your blood. Diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, plantar fasciitis, diabetes, Crohn's, cancer. These are the bad boys, okay? So, slightly acidic, not a big deal. Slightly acidic, not a big deal. You with me? Look at this guy, what we give the kids. It's not that this is acidic, it's how acidic it is. Sports drinks. You think these sports guys are drinking it? They're not. I've shared it with a few of these. I've helped a lot of the New York Knicks buy this, personally. Texas Rangers, LSU baseball players. Personally, I've helped them buy it. Let me tell you where they're at. They're in hyperbaric chambers on Monday morning. They're getting rid of lactic acid. They're not drinking acid. They're trying to get rid of it. That's why you can't work out arms every day, right? Arms, next day chest, then legs. Well, why? You let the lactic acid leave the muscle before you can rebound that muscle. Well, if you're trying to get rid of the lactic acid, uric acid, why would you be drinking it? Well, they're not. On TV they are. Is that hard to hear? You ever see him throw the Gatorade over the coach's head at the end of the game? Do you ever notice it's full? Where they were, oh, sorry, coach, it's empty, fourth quarter. No, it doesn't happen that way. How acidic is this? Has anyone ever been told if their car won't start because the mineral buildup, the acid buildup on the battery, you could use a soda? Who believes that's probably true? We've all heard that, haven't we? Slow it down, guys. This is so acidic. It'll break down battery acid, so your battery can make connection. And if you don't get all willy-nilly with it and be smart about it, you can drink the rest. And they don't even go together, do they? That doesn't even go together, does it? God made your body to breathe in what? Oxygen? And then as waste, you breathe out
CO2.
carbon dioxide. Who agrees? You breathe in oxygen, and as waste, you breathe out carbon dioxide. Pepsi says, Coca-Cola says, give us a little more money than you did last week, we'll let you breathe in carbon dioxide. And you put it on your battery, get the acid off if you want. And it's only $1. I want to help you with it. Tap water. You're going to hear this. People say, my tap water is alkaline. Well, I'm not here to introduce you to alkaline water. This is alkaline. I'm here to introduce you to alkalized water. Well, what's the difference? Well, this one's alkaline. This one's a positive 500. This one's a negative 500. You with me? See, there's no regulation in this industry. This is alkaline water. You can find this at the grocery store. And so, this ought to be interesting to you. There's not a lot of regulation in this industry. But one of the new regulations are that it has to be alkaline. Your tap water doesn't just have to be alkaline. It has to be specific between 7.2 and 7.6. Don't you find that interesting at all, just logically? There's no regulations. You can put every kind of medicine in there, but our water has to be between 7.2 and 7.6. Why? Oh. These smart women, these smart men learned something a few years ago. When they used to run acidic water through the infrastructure of the city, the pipes would rust. And it would cost the city millions and millions of dollars. Now that they learned to run alkaline water through the city, the pipes won't rust and the city saves millions of dollars. Pretty simple. I sat where you were thinking, hey, I don't get the problem. That's kind of win-win, isn't it? Their pipes don't rust, our taxes don't go up, we get alkaline water. Isn't that why you drug my rear end down here and made me watch this? To find out there's no regulation on how they do it. So what they do is they dump a pH of 14, which is a carcinogen. Carcinogen means parts per million will kill you, right? And that chemical is called lye, L-Y-E. They dump lye in the water to make it alkaline. Was that good for you? It's a positive 500. No, it's carcinogen bad. But it's alkaline. Who cares about alkaline water? That's the big buzz right now, alkaline water. It's alkalized water. What's the difference? Negative 500. Grabbing free radicals, taking out trash, takes away inflammation. This is the, you with me? People say, hey, until we get one of these, you can buy alkaline water at the grocery store. I can name all the names if you want, but it doesn't matter. You know you can buy it at the grocery store. Well, grab that bottle and flip it over and just read it. They write it on the bottle. They might have all the nice words, electrolytes and everything, but then they'll write the number one property is sodium bicarbonate. So go Google sodium bicarbonate and it is baking soda. So you can put baking soda in water and make it alkaline. Is that good? Not if it's a positive 500, it's not good. Are you with me? If I took a stagnant ditchwater pond with amoebas and it's going to make you sick and probably kill you, and I sprinkle some baking soda in it, it's going to come up purple, but it's going to still kill you. You know, alkaline water is not good. It's alkalized water. This is electrolyzed reduced water, medical grade. It's restructured. It's OH negative. It's not H2O with baking soda. There is a big difference. And the marketplace is winning because guess how much those cost today? We talked about it. They're not $1 anymore, are they? That bottle's now $3 because you learned a little bit about alkalinity. Now, it was $1, but now, we can still get them. You can still get them. I mean, it's just crazy what we're buying into. And this one is alkaline if you have to see it. I never saw it before. Now let me help you. You go to a Japanese hospital and they say, hey, what's going on? Which one are you? And you say, I don't know. I came here for you to tell me. And they say, it's real simple. We'll tell you who you are. We just got to check your pH. Oh, you're this guy. It's not a big deal. You just need a few minerals. We got to move you alkaline. And this is mineral rich. Well, how powerful are these minerals? It didn't take much, did it? You saying that one glass I drank tonight, that's why I slept better? Yeah. My feet hurt, my feet tingle, I have restless leg syndrome. Are you saying that one glass I drank last night is why I didn't have restless leg syndrome last night? Yes. The inflammation went away. Well, I take magnesium, not like this, you know. strong is this? Remember this too, you're just 10 times more acidic than your blood, it's not a big deal. If you're drinking bottled water, it's not the worst thing you can do. It doesn't take but a few minerals to reach homeostasis. It grabs them, boom, not a big deal. I'm not feeling so hot, grab a few minerals. You with me? But you gotta admit how powerful this is. When you're 10 times more acidic than your blood, it's not a big deal. This is what we're giving the kids. This is 10,000 times. So how many minerals, acid eats minerals, right? I'll show you that, that's acid. When you're drinking something acid, it's gonna reach in the property and eat minerals. No, I can't get more in there. You're still acidic. You're still dealing with diabetes, you're still dealing with inflammation, you know, because it's too acidic. You don't have enough minerals. Now it's gotta go reach them somewhere else, And when you lack those minerals, now you're dealing with restless leg syndrome and diabetes and acid reflux. And what does that have to do with pH? Everything. It's just not taught here. It's just not taught here. Sports drinks, don't think these sports guys are drinking it. They're trying to get rid of lactic acid. Don't think Gatorade's gonna help you when you're sick. It's too acidic. It's inviting inflammation. People say, I know what soda's gonna do. Really? Did you see a difference in pH? There's none. Go back to drinking soda. If you're a big, I like soda, it tastes the best, but this one's the best for me. Go back and drink it. Stop drinking it, doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you're gonna deal with those health issues, and that's a fact. You know what color this one's gonna change?
Nope.
So we never know. Is it high blood pressure week? Is it schizophrenia week? I mean, we don't know.
Right.
Jan, what color is this? Okay, Miss Jane, come up here, I'm sorry.
Gray.
Gray, let's get some more in
Grayish. Ooh, it's kind
there.
of
Ooh,
pinkish, lavenderish, grayish.
grab somebody, come back next week, it'll be a different color. Really,
Yep.
there's so many non-variables in here,
Lavender.
it's different every week. Every week. Let me show you this. I'm gonna move along. I think I slowed down somewhere. I was chewing on that earlier, that's what it was. So, this can't be that acidic at this point. I mean, half it's alkaline water, and we know how powerful it is. And this is just a splash. This is what we're giving the kids. Stop giving them to the kids. Do you want to drink it? Drink it. It's too acidic for the kids. You wonder why they're having all these issues in their young age, and they've been drinking this. Because this is at every sports game, every baseball game, every birthday party, at school at lunchtime. This is everywhere. If you don't know, because your kids are grown, trust me, your grandkids are drinking this. And I have my own stories about my little boy. He was about every other week. He came home with his stomach upset, and we found out he had this at school. On that parent day of bringing lunch, they had a big old pallet out there. I'll just tell the story anyway. So we're Wilson, we're Douglas. We didn't get to go till 5 months into school, and we walk in and see that pallet, and we're like, "Why do you have so much?" "Oh, we've been doing this all year. And we bought 5,000 of them, for a cheap price." "Oh, that's why my kid's been coming home. He's alkaline his whole life, and he's been drinking that once a week, once every other week." This is Propel, diluted Propel. I want to let you watch acid eat the minerals. You're watching acid eat the minerals. These are the very minerals in here. This is Gatorade. I'm gonna try to do so little you can watch it happen. So when you're drinking this, what do you think it's doing in your body? It's eating magnesium, potassium, calcium, and you're coming up short. You're dealing with debilitation from it. What did I just do? Gatorade? I can do soda, but I think you know how that one goes, right? People are like, that's just a splash, guys. That's a splash of dilute. This is Capri Sun. This is the one that freaks people out. This is mainly alkaline water. This is all alkaline water. You know how powerful it is. Capri Sun can't be that acidic. You watch it eat them, you're back on medication. You're back on those things. I know that's hard to hear, but this is the truth. I'll show it to you on a big scale, and I'll tell you, documentation beats conversation. I'll tell you what other people think about it on the planet. Let's just move this over here. I think you kind of get it. I get to see your face. Most of you got it. Some of you are a little bit like, what am I watching? And that's okay. I did the same thing. Let's do it on a big scale, like what you might drink tomorrow. Because if you don't have this, we'll send you home with some. Let's get up in the morning and drink a bunch. Because who knows, this might be all true. It's not true. Let's make sure it's alcohol. Let's make sure it's alkalized. Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30. There's no rules. Just a bunch of drops. All right, this is a very healthy environment. You went to your doctor tomorrow and said, hey, doc, is there any truth to an alkaline diet of me dealing with my health issues? And he's going to tell you 100%, yeah, absolutely. And you'd be like, well, why didn't you ever tell me about this magic water? And you might say, what water? What about alkaline water? I don't know much about it. Well, what do you mean I could get healthy? Right? Then he's going to proceed to tell you what you heard your whole life. If you're really serious about getting your health under control, you're going to have to change the way you're living, your lifestyle. And you're like, done, easy. What do I got to do? You ready? He says, you got to stop eating this. And you know, it's not going to work, right? Don't ever eat this. Don't look at this. Don't take it out of a wrapper. Don't take it out of a can. I'm like, all that sounded good, but that's not going to happen. I know me. Right? What does that mean? I mean, I'm not going to quit smoking the cigar. I'm not going to quit eating the cow. That sounds great, but I'm not going to be able to live that kind of lifestyle. But let's find someone who could. They eat like a little bunny rabbit. I'm not making fun of you. They exercise every day. They don't eat any of those bad things, and they're very alkaline. But even if you ask that person, if you haven't seen this, watch this. Hey, you want a Sprite? You know what they're going to say? No, not really. After that bald-headed guy freaked me out on pH. Just give me a splash because I miss the taste. Because there's no way a splash can make a difference with all my, you know, this isn't a little bitty cup. This is just a splash, a Sprite. It can't be that acidic. Well, it's 10,000 times more acidic than your blood. Guys, that was a splash of Sprite. I've done a demo. I poured some on my battery. I've done this. I still have a 3/4 of a cup left. Now, I sat where you were sitting thinking, hey, I get it. There's a lot I don't know, but you gave us the golden goose. Can I kind of do your deal and do my deal? What do I got to change that way? Well, let's find out. Because you know how powerful this is. If you don't know, let me show you. It's the same water. It's alkaline. Right? So I'm pouring it right here over a splash of, what did I use, Sprite? Can you see it eating the minerals? These are the minerals, and the acid eats the minerals. Acid, this is healthcare reform. This is how it's taught around the world. Your body's going to leach into your body and take all those minerals out that you need when you're doing acidic things. You want to drink them, but get them out of your mama's hand. Get them out of your hand, your spouse's hand. This is the root of health. It's pH driven. Is pH around you? Is pH around the world? It's just not taught in the United States. Let me share this and I'll move on. This is Dr. Haroma Shinya. You know he's not from South Texas, right? He is, documentation does beat conversation. Some people need credentials, I'll give you credentials. Some people don't. He's the chief of the surgical endoscopy unit. I mean, he's not into endoscopy, he's the chief of all endoscopy. At a big hospital, I mean a small hospital, he's at the Beth Israel Medical Center. He's a clinical professor of surgery at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. He wrote a book. If you don't know him or recognize him, he invented the colonoscopy. He's the father of endoscopy. The snare that grabs the colon, the polyp off the colon, is called the Shinya method. He writes a book and he puts something in his book and he didn't slide it in the middle, he put it on page 1 of chapter 1, where he says that he takes all of his cancer patients, not in the United States, and he puts them on an alkaline diet. Has for years. He's done hundreds of thousands of colonoscopies. And he writes this in his book. I think you should find it interesting. The enzyme factor diet lifestyle introduced this book is able to report a clinical results of a 0 cancer recurrence rate. None of those people have cancer today. Yeah, hundreds of thousands. None of them have cancer. You say, well, he had to have meant something else. Oh, the next paragraph, he says, I want to say that again. None of my patients have had to face cancer again. Where is that information? It's not in the United States. We do chemotherapy and radiation. And you can do your research on it. If you really want to know, there's a book called Killing Cancer, Not People. And it's Dr. Robert Wright. And get with us afterwards. I'll teach you that one. and he has 200 natural remedies towards cancer, and none of them are chemotherapy and radiation. So I give that a round of applause so I can keep going. I'm not gonna cut anything out, but I'm gonna show you hydration. I want you to at least see hydration. Let's try this. This is green tea by H-E-B. I'm gonna make some, who are green tea drinkers in here, just so I know who, okay, you understand the process, right? You take green tea, steep it, put some heat on it, okay. So I'm gonna take it, and this is H-E-B's green tea. I don't know what level of quality it is, but I'm gonna make green. Y'all use tap water, do you use bottled water, or? Tap. So most people use tap water, so watch me make green tea. So you put over the tea bag itself, and you punch the tea bag around, and then everyone who drinks green tea says, no, Dodo, that's not how you make green tea. That's not.
Microwave.
What do I gotta do to make green tea?
Microwave.
You gotta heat the water, gotta microwave it. So why do you have to heat the water to make tea? Because when you heat water, H2O, you restructure it molecularly. You change it from basketballs to softballs. When it gets real hot, it's golf balls. When it becomes steeping hot, because of the microwave, it's so small, molecular, it's like BBs. It's now so small, what it's doing is permeating the polyphenols of the tea bag. And it's making tea. Tap water's too big to make tea. Does that make sense? Guess what else is too big to do? It's too big to get in the cell and hydrate you. Now, a tea drinker is going to be amazed by this, because I told you it was 4 molecules, and I told you I could show you that. Have you ever seen cold water make tea at contact? And if you're a tea drinker, have you ever had 2 glasses of tea with 1 tea bag? People say, yeah, I've done that. Have you ever had 3? Have you ever made tea in 2 seconds? Anybody who's a tea drinker is starting to go, what am I watching? I can do this, I can go do this all day. I mean, this is just right at contact. This is so small, what do you think it's gonna get into the cell? Now, I'm gonna show you this, let me put it in here. You're a tea drinker, it took me a second. But if it's not green tea, just say, no, it's just weak water. You're a tea drinker, so she's never seen this before. Say whatever you're feeling. Does that surprise you?
Yeah.
Does that surprise you? Cold water at contact?
Yeah.
Watch this, guys. Let's do Dasani. I'm just gonna grab what's closest. If you need me to do a specific water, I'll do it for you. Think it's gonna make tea?
No.
It's too big. There's no minerals in it, by the way. So we'll do whatever this is, Aquafina. And you know what some people say at this point? Wait, how many glasses were you thinking you were gonna make with it? Did you wash the tea bag out? Well, I don't know. Let's go back to this. And let's find out. All water must not be created equal. Isn't that crazy? If you're a tea drinker, it's really surprising. I wish I was an economics class. Charge everybody $1 for green tea, I use 1 tea bag. But it's a health class, just my luck. Isn't that crazy? I can do this all day, all day, all day. Hey, that's hydration at the cellular level. I know I went quick, but I need to get this guy up here shortly. Give that a round of applause. I do a little thing with chlorine. If you're concerned with chlorine, get with me afterwards, and I'll show that to you. Let me at least show you this. This is a medical device. These aren't expensive. I say that off the bat because some people tell me I would have bought one of these, but they're so expensive. They're $20 to $40 a month. For how long? Well, not the rest of your life. You're going to do this the rest of your life. For a few months. But it's a medical device in Japan. It's you can write off every payment. It's already a home run. It's got 7 medical grade titanium plates in it. People say, well, what's medical grade titanium? Before I can even answer that, a lady said, I've got titanium in my back. I said, that's medical grade titanium. Pure in its form, designed to last a lifetime. Your body won't reject it. Go put $150 of metal on your back and see what happens. Yeah, that's not going to work. There's a lot of knockoff machines for half the price that just use $150 worth of metal. That's why it's a medical device. It's medical grade titanium. It's $2,300 an ounce. It's not $150. Don't take any shortcuts and buy the $150 metal and put it in your back. Right? It's not going to work. But watch this. Every time I touch a button, I change the pH. I can change it from 9.5 to 9 to 8.5. Change it to 7, 4.5, 5.5, 4.5, 2.5, 11.5. Every time I touch a button, I change the pH. Every time I change the pH, I restructure the water differently, and it does something else, entirely different. I spent an hour and 15 minutes telling you what 9.5 does. I can't tell you the other 8 waters, but I'll tell you 2 of them. This is 2.5 pH, super acidic, comes out of this machine. This is 11.5, super alkaline. They're not made to drink, they're made to clean and do stuff in your house. They're harmless, they're water. right? They've been restructured. I can spray this in my kids' eyes, my pets can run through it. In the United States, this is a big deal. They've been approved by our FDA. Why would they approve them? They know what they do. They've been approved by our EPA. They've been approved by our USDA for food handling and processing. Companies around San Antonio buy these in 500-gallon to 10,000-gallon increments every day. Are you curious why you never even heard of them? Because at 2.5, this disinfects everything on the planet. Everything. Topical dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, acne, MRSA, E. coli, strep, staph. You know, before I started, I showed a bunch of pictures up here. People that got bit by recluses, 11 days. And this kills it. I could fill this up for 3 cents. How many chemicals can I take out of my house? If, what I spray on the doorknobs of flu season, the cutting boards. All your chemicals either disinfect or cut grease. Tide, cheer, 4-9, bleach, Windex. I don't know what you're spending, $10, $20, $30 a month on chemicals. This replaces both of them. For 6 cents a month, maybe 2 months, who knows? This disinfects everything. If my kids have strep, you think we go to the doctor? It goes like this. Come here, boy, open up that night, that morning, that afternoon, and they go to school. You know why that doesn't move you? Want me to help you with it? He's not your little boy. He's my little boy. When he's your little boy, when he's your little grandson, when he's your uncle who has MRSA, it's a, your chance, you stand on the mountain with me and trust me. For what, 2 cents? This one disinfects. This one cuts grease. You know why that one's hard for you to hear? Oil and water. They don't mix, do they? This is just water. Look, it's not made up. This has a name. When you take H2O and move it to 2.5, it is hypochlorous acid. Yeah. Come up here and smell it. You'll smell that it does it. This one cuts grease. Let me show that to you. This is pretty oily. You can use a light oil or a dark oil. The dark oil you can see. People say, I do it with olive oil, and it doesn't look like yours because it's so light. But who believes that's pretty oily? Sesame seed oil? Okay. If you don't know what it is, this doesn't make the same point. Let me just fill the bottom up with a cup. And what happens when you mix oil and water? You got a camera on me? I don't have to walk it around. Oil comes to the top, right? This is why you can't clean your house with the sun. It's not going to work. It doesn't cut grease. There's scientists, when I do this, there's chemists that say, do it again. I don't understand what I'm watching, Mike. This is 11.5 water. It's harmless. Anyone knows me knows that I prefer 11.5 over 2.5. You can drink them both. There's people that say, do it again, Mike. What happened here? That went past cutting grease to emulsification. I went past cutting grease to emulsification. Emulsification means if I leave it here next week, it's still going to be emulsified, which means I can fill this up for 2 cents, and I'm going to clean my stove, my oven, my butter knife, wine out of a white dress shirt, paint out of a carpet, oil off the cement. It's a grease cutter. How much money could you save? Go take that money, go buy your sister one. Don't think these are expensive. You write yours off. Go buy someone else one of these with the money you save. Or redirect money you were spending on all those chemicals. If you walked into the United States, those plants that make these, they got to scrub those plants. If you're at a bleach plant, they can't just put bleach on top of bleach on top of bleach on top of, they're going to kill their employees. The EPA will come in and test for bleach and say, we're going to have to shut you down or fine you. Don't you kind of like that? If you had a family that lived there? Yeah. No regulations at your house, though. You put bleach on top of Windex, on top of Clorox, until someone has the #1 cause of cancer that no one knows. They think chemical exposure is like number 114. Research it. #1. If you knew what I knew, you'd buy these for $40. How much are they? $80 for the pair. You'd buy them if you knew what I knew. I'm telling you, they come with the machine. After all the stuff I told you about the machine, this comes with it. That's why it's a medical device. Don't buy a machine that doesn't make these. We're the only machine that makes those. But don't buy a machine that doesn't make those. I know I'm going quick, but we are starting to run out of time. And I got one guy that he's going to change your life in his personal story. These are cherry tomatoes. Who believes they put chemicals on our food? Pesticides. Yeah. It doesn't even really bother us. We just know it's probably not cool. It's like, nah, that's probably not cool. But we don't understand what they are. Let me help you. I'm going to put some in that cup, some in that cup. I'm going to put some on the table, and I'll try not to put any on the floor. Here we go. Close enough. Anybody want to take a guess why they put pesticides on your food? I believe that's probably true, so the bugs don't eat them. That's what the pesticide's for. She was raising her hand. I thought she was gonna have a question. Okay. So they spray that on there so the bugs don't eat them. Does that make sense? Grow 1,000 cherry tomatoes, spray it with the pesticide, go sell 1,000 cherry tomatoes, very profitable. If you don't spray it, there'll only be like 700 cherry tomatoes and it's not as profitable. That's called organic, right? But that doesn't bother us. But think about it. They found a chemical they could spray on your food that the little bug won't even eat. He's that big. His brain is that big. And he knows, no, you don't eat it. I've seen that dude with the hazmat suit spraying it. And we eat it. What's the best way to grow them? Water them. But if I water it, aren't I going to wash off the pesticide? And if I did wash off the pesticide, what would be next? Spray the pesticide, water it to grow it. Spray a pesticide, water it. We're running out of profit real quick, aren't we? So what these smart women and men learned is if you'll spray that on with an oil base, the pesticide, designed to not come off when you water it. You only have to spray them once, and during the growing season. At our house, we use 11.5, because it's just restructured water and it doesn't cost any money and it's harmless. But it's a grease cutter. It's an oil-based cutter. And that doesn't cost me any money. Now, if you think you can put your food in your sink and put it in a colander and clean it, you're wrong. This is what we think. I know there's chemicals on there, but we clean our food really thorough. We put it in plastic bags and we put it in the refrigerator. Well, nothing's coming off. It's designed not to come off. It wouldn't make any money if it came off. They'd have to spray it all the time. Where at our house, we use 11.5.
Wow.
What do you think that is?
Looks like poison.
It's poison.
Poison.
I'll pay you to drink it. Anybody?
How much?
How much? Miss Jane. That'd be a lot. But here's the irony to it. Tomorrow you'll pay them to eat it.
You pay, eat it in the salad bar.
Yeah. You're like, you can't pay me to drink this. Really? You're gonna go to the salad bar on your health kick and eat this.
Yeah.
If you really want to know what's on your food, and I gotta skip a little bit, just go to whatsonmyfood.org, not .net. Find cherry tomatoes, click on them. They will list the hormone disruptors on this pesticide, which means thyroid, why we're having these issues. They will list the cancer-causing carcinogens. They will list them for you. That's peer review, PubMed. That's, doctor to doctors, case studies. Everybody says, do you have any proof on that? Yeah, thousands of them. Thousands of them that no one wants you to see, just like they don't want you to understand chlorine's bad for you in the United States. But do yourself a favor, and I'm speeding up, I know. Come taste these. They're night and day difference. They're night and day difference. This one and this one. And that's going to be the difference between beans, spaghetti, rice, noodles, everything. Let me quickly jump into this, and I know I'm rushing through it. Does anybody get any decent information, even though it's quick?
Yeah.
I know it's a broad stroke overview. Hey, grab someone you love and care about and come back next Thursday night, and we'll do it again, maybe a little bit different. I want you to hear this about this company called Enagic. They've been around for 42 years. And in 42 years, they've learned a few things. They're not new at it. They learned that if you'll drink this water, these things I've told you will happen to you. They know that's a fact. It's not rocket science anymore. They also know this about us. They're in 172 countries. They're just new to us. When these things happen to you, what are you going to do? Any guesses? Probably tell someone. Let me tell you about this company. This isn't a multi-level marketing company. There's nothing to sign up for. There's no monthly fees, there's no annual fees, there's no renewal fees. If you want to drink this in your closet and don't tell no one, drink it in your closet. If you do share this with somebody, you don't have to, it's referral based, and that person buys this machine, as a thank you, they're going to send you about $300, not $5. The third time you do that, that means you could do that on the way home tonight, or it could take 10 years before you tell 3 people. The third time, they're going to double it and send you about $600. And people say, well, what does refer mean? Refer means tell them, call Ms. Gaia. Refer means have them call me, I'll give them the information. If I have them call you, Mike, they're gonna send me $300? Yeah, it's referral based, like real estate. I have a lot of people tell me, hey, I'm not into the business thing. And that's a normal thought process. But imagine someone saying, I'm not into the business thing. I even tell them, well, you overcooked this, because there's nothing to sign up for here. If you don't want to do the business thing, don't do the business thing. Nobody cares. You have the right to refer. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But I even asked them, after what you saw tonight, are you ever going to tell anybody what you saw tonight? What do you think they said? That's the whole business thing. They're going to send you a check. Don't cash it. Give it to your church. Give it to me, give it to you. But let's know this, we teach how this money flows a couple times a month. Where we don't do this, we just show you how the money flows. It's free seminar. Miss Gaia Brooks, raise your hand back there. Give this sweet lady a round of applause. It's taught all around the globe. It's taught all around the United States. And if you ever see Miss Gaia's 45-minute presentation, she gives it to you ABC and teaches you how this money flows. I urge you to come back. I'm going to speak out of turn, but she usually feeds you. Are you still on? You know, so it's usually some home-cooked food. It's pretty awesome. I will close with this. I want to introduce you to somebody. When I saw this, I wanted to get mine paid for. That's all I knew. I knew if I told a few people, that would be on the road to doing that. I immediately told 2 people. They sent me 2 checks. It wasn't hard to understand. I learned that the first night. My wife said, "What are these?" And I go, "Well, it's not something I had to do. It's referral." And she said, "So what does that mean?" I said, "One for you, one for me. Is that fair?" And you know what she said to me? "Well, what are you going to do with yours?" And I thought, I didn't ask you what you're going to do with yours. I mean, I wouldn't have to do a whole lot for it. Pretty easy, right? But those 2 people told someone who told 2 people, and they sent me about 6 checks. And my wife said, "What do we do with these?" And you know what I said? Nothing. Don't cash those. Why? Because I know how this world works. I didn't have anything to do with that, right? I'm gonna have to pay it back. I don't have the means to pay it back. Just hold on to those to find out what those are mine. And people said, "Mike, you didn't understand that?" I go, "No. How would I?" They said, "Well, you didn't go to Miss Gaia's presentation. You should have went to it." Right?
The 26th.
The 26th of this month. At what time?
26th of this month is when we'll be doing that.
You know what you're cooking yet? It could make a difference.
I might have some Jewish flair to it, I'll be just.
It's always awesome. I urge you to come see how the money flows, though. It's pretty simple. You're going to do it either way. Let me introduce you to this guy and get you guys back to your families. This guy does.